Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good morning, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the News 8 Live Desk. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. And we have a very special guest on the Live Desk today. You may know him from one of the most iconic lines in all of cinema, "Oh, hi, Mark," from The Room. It's Greg Sestero. He is here to talk about an exciting event that he's going to be a part of this Friday night over at Wealthy Theater. And he joins us now. Greg, thank you so much for being here. Good morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, and
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah, exactly. Perfect timing for this. Kind of keeping the fun going really since Memorial Day weekend. And the event, of course, is just going to be a regular screening of The Room, the film from 2003, a cult classic. A lot of people love that movie. And this is going to be a little bit different than maybe, say, your typical movie-going experience. And before we get more into it, Greg, I do want to remind everybody that there are still a few tickets available, and you can find it all right now. How to get them by heading on over to woodtv.com. But Greg, this is different than, say, your normal movie-going experience. People are talking at the screen. People are throwing utensils at it. I mean, what makes this such a unique experience compared to, say, going and seeing the latest blockbuster at your AMC theater?
I think, at a screening of The Room, it's almost like the audience is part of the film. They're interacting with it. It's almost like meshing film and theater. And what's so beautiful about these screenings is so many new people come. Friends will bring their friends to see their reaction to watching The Room with the crowd. Because I got to say, after 20 years, there's nothing really like it. And you'll come out, the movie is just, from the second it starts, you're like, what is happening? This is insane. This is fun. And so there's interactions. I'm there. I do a Q&A. I love getting there early and meeting people and signing copies of The Disaster Artist and hearing fan stories about how they discover the Room and what they like about it. So it's always fun coming out, and it's interactive, it's personal, and we need to get out to the movies more often. And The Room is a great way for cinema to keep thriving, and for people to come out and just have the most unique cinematic experience.
Right, yeah, no, and I highly encourage everybody, even if they don't get the chance to see one of the actors like Greg during one of these screenings, highly encourage doing it because it is a lot of fun. But Greg, I got to ask, for somebody who has seen The Room in the comfort of their own living room and also in the theater with a screening like that, what maybe would you recommend for people? Would you recommend seeing The Room for the very first time at one of these screenings where they get to kind of see the cult classic and really the biggest fans of it all in one place? Or would you maybe say, make that your second or third time watching it?
I always tell people, I feel like you haven't seen The Room unless you've watched it with the crowd. I'll meet fans and they'll be like, oh, I've hosted birthday parties. I have people over. We watch the Blu-ray and have a great time. And this is our first time seeing it in a theater. And they always walk out and they're like, man, you're right. I have not seen The Room until now. So there's just a certain magic with any movie inside a cinema with people chanting, singing, interacting with the film. It's even me being in the film, having survived The Room, written The Disaster Artist, like all these years later, I can still peek in and watch an audience experiencing The Room, and it always makes me laugh.
Absolutely. And Greg, I kind of want to shift gears just a little bit to sort of your career and who you are as a person, because obviously, if people don't know, they haven't seen The Disaster Artist or read your book, you kind of went to LA, become an actor, get big and famous as so many people have, and you actually achieved that. But it maybe isn't the way that you thought it would happen, I guess, having kind of this cult status and having so many people kind of come up to you and remember you from this role and sort of your, they know so much about you just from this one role and really what kind of spiraled out from that. So I guess, what is it like being you? What is it like having kind of this history and this lore behind your entire career?
It is. I mean, that's the thing about art and filmmaking and music. It's all one of those things you put your heart and soul into your work, and you put it out there, and you have a vision of what it is and what you want people to experience. And I think with The Room, obviously, it was taken on in a completely different way. I honestly didn't expect many people to even see The Room, because it's really hard to get any movie out there, even good movies, with budgets, and it's tough. It's sort of a lotto ticket. You throw it out there. Do people connect to it? Do they not? And with The Room, it's been a fascinating thing to experience. Being at ground zero, having made the movie with Tommy, two of us coming from San Francisco to LA and just trying to, like so many other people out there. So I've become very grateful to see how many people have appreciated this movie. And therefore, I I love making movies. That's what I'm going to continue to do. But looking back, I think The Room has brought a lot of joy to people, and that's all you can hope for.
And do you see that kind of as its lasting legacy? I mean, like I said, this is a cult classic. I mean, people here, we see movies every single year win Oscars, and there are these achievements in filmmaking, but I can guarantee you that some people probably couldn't name 5 Best Picture winners, but they could name 5 quotes from The Room. So, I mean, is that sort of what you want its legacy to be, sort of this fun kind of bonding experience for people?
Yeah, I mean, I even went to a wedding last year. People are now married because of The Room. Like it's connected them, which is totally far out to say. And I realize every movie has its own journey. Not every movie is going to be an Oscar winner. Not every movie is going to make people cry or laugh. Every movie is going to have its own journey. And I think it's been a beautiful art for The Room, starting out as the underdog and now coming out and being something that sells out audiences around the world. And that's just something that is really cool to look back on.
Absolutely. And Greg, I got to ask because, like I said, so many people have all these incredible, funny quotes from the film that they memorize. They say it in every day. I mean, is there one that always sticks out to you, whether it's one of your own or maybe one from Tommy's that, is just always going to stick out to you or always make you laugh no matter how many times you hear people say it at you or you hear it while the movie's playing?
The line that always cracks me up is when I'm up on the rooftop and Tommy said, "Oh, hi, Mark," and the scene's playing out, and I look out and I just say, "People are very strange these days," and it's just sort of like there's a profoundness to it, there's an absurdity to it, but every time I see that shot, it just takes me back to the moment of filming it. And of course, the high doggy scene. What's beautiful about that? The movie's playing in front of 500 or 600 people, and the doggy scene comes on the flower shop, and the entire crowd goes shh, so they can all hear the dialogue. And that's just something. I mean, you got to marvel at. You make a movie that you're going through the motions. You're like, man, what are we making here? And people, it means that much to people. So I'd say those 2 moments, the high doggy and people are very strange these days.
Absolutely. And Mark, as I mentioned, this movie came out excuse me, Greg, geez, I'm so sorry for that. But Greg, this movie came out, 20 plus years ago. And I heard that there were some rumblings about possibly making a remake with Bob Odenkirk, maybe even coming out later on this year. Just wanted to see if there was any truth to that. And maybe if you wouldn't mind, dropping a little bit of information if you can about it.
Yeah, no, the Room obviously is something that obviously with the Disaster Artist book and then the movie, there's some hope of maybe a Broadway play, TV series. So we'll be teasing some surprises at the screening of upcoming projects and things that might be right up your alley.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And that's actually a perfect segue into our last question. Greg, obviously this is going to be a fun event for people that either have seen The Room multiple times or maybe have never seen it. It's definitely an experience to be had. But I mean, just tell everybody, make your final pitch out there. Why would you say that coming out to the Wealthy Theater this Friday and see the screening of The Room with you there in the audience is the place to be this weekend?
I think seeing a room with the crowd on its 20-year anniversary with your friends, uninitiated, or maybe you've seen it and you want to take friends and blow their minds. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime cinematic experience. And it's really something that you got to see in the theater, and it's awesome to support an amazing spot like the Wealthy Theater. We need our cinemas, and that's why I love getting out there and meeting you guys. So yeah, come out Friday night and your life will be changed forever. You'll never see movies the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Greg, thank you so much for stopping by today. We really do appreciate it. And I do want to remind everybody that if you want to know a little bit more information on this event happening at the Wealthy Theater, well, you can find it all right now over on our website, woodtv.com. Greg, one last time, thank you so much for being here on the live desk today. We really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Of course, and I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.